Gary, good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for joining us in the Sponsors Lounge this evening. And first of all, really, congratulations because you've been confirmed as first team manager until the end of the season. So many congratulations on that officially.
Thank you.
And really just to explain that the purpose of this interview is so that people can get to know you a bit more as an individual rather than just a manager that goes loopy when we score goals on Saturday. So, of course, you know, a lot of fans do know you already because you played for Tamworth a few years back, but a lot of the younger fans don't. So this is an opportunity really to to explain where you've come from, etc. So you scored 70 goals in 220 odd appearances.
Yes,
is that right?
That's correct.
And I think that qualifies you as legend status.
It wasn't easy.
but tell us about, other than Tamworth, obviously, you had a while in the game before you joined Tamworth, so tell us about your journey, you know, from the beginning really to the point where you are now.
Playing career started at Paget Rangers, believe it or not, when I was about 20. A chap from the local area that I lived in had some connections with football, knew I loved to play, but I didn't have a club to play for at that time, and he took me off to Paget. Spent my season at Paget playing in the reserves, and then when the management team was leaving Paget and going to Sutton, most of the players went, and I was one of them. I went with them as well. I played Sutton's reserve side first. I can remember making my first team debut. It was an Easter Monday game at Milo Rovers. I ended up scoring the winner. We won 1-0. And then after Sutton, I was off to Worcester City. Had a great time at Worcester. Left Worcester City and came to Tamworth. Spent 6 brilliant years here. When I left Tamworth, I ended up at Hales Owen, where I went on to win a second championship medal. After Hales Owen, it was Gresley. I did half a season at Gresley, and at the same time I was doing my UEFA licence at the same time. And then I decided the UEFA licence was taking a lot of my time up, and I had to make a choice, football or the licence. And I thought, well, I've done enough in the playing circle already. I would like to continue in the coaching game. So I went on and did my UEFA licence in 2004. After that, I went into a couple of the academies. I did Search for a Star at Aston Villa, which was filmed by Sky. It was on every Sunday. I did that. Then I went, I did some work for West Brom. I did a little bit of work for Birmingham City's academy. After that, it was coaching in the community. I did some coaching in the local community for a while. And then I ended up going to Continental Star, and I did 2 seasons with Continental Star in the Midland Football League Premier. Left Continental, took a year out, and then I started getting lots of phone calls to return to football. I took a job offer at Coleshill Town, done the under-21s for Coleshill for 2 seasons, and then when the first team got promoted, the under-21 plug was pulled. Coleshill had offered us to stay on, but I needed to further the challenge, and I wanted to continue managing and coaching. And so the job came available at Tamworth. I made a phone call, and the rest is history. Here I am again. It's the second coming.
It's been quite a journey, hasn't it, Gary?
Brilliant.
With all those years playing for Tamworth, what would be your standout memory?
Definitely winning the championship under Paul Hendry. The brilliant fans here at the football club, that follow the football club. It's amazing to see that the vast majority of supporters that were here when I was playing are still here following the club now, and that's brilliant to see. So that's always been a highlight for me. The atmosphere at the Lamb has always been a special place. not so much for the opposition players, but definitely for Tamworth players. That was always a highlight. The adoring fans, winning the championship, getting my World Cup call up as well for St Kitts and Nevis while I was a Tamworth player. Those things for me have stuck with me all the time, been brilliant memories that I should treasure for the rest of my life.
I always remember the St Kitts and Nevis situation. I remember it being just as a fan, nothing to do with the media then, that it was double-edged, because we would lose you for a couple of games because you'd be away on World Cup duty.
Yeah.
But we were really happy for you at the same time.
That was amazing how that came about, actually, because I actually travelled to St Kitts. I can remember it was '99 for the Millennium changeover. I went to St Kitts with my mum. I took my 2 young daughters and my nephew with us, and obviously being, playing at Tamworth, I wanted to keep myself in shape, so I took football stuff with me. While I was in St Kitts, their annual season was coming to a close. They had some playoff games, and I went to the National Stadium and I was just sitting in the crowd watching the game. And it was kind of funny because while I was sitting there, I was commentating on the game. Oh, you should have done this. Oh, why didn't you do that? And then somebody was sitting next to me and he introduced himself and said he plays for the national team and he's been listening to me the way I've been talking about the game, and he asked me if I played, and I said yeah. Told him the club I was playing for, the level I was at, and then he invited me to play in a national 11 versus the foreign 11 at the weekend, which I took the opportunity, went, and the foreigners won. we bashed them. We won. I scored twice in that game. While I was coming off the pitch, I was approached. I didn't know who he was at the time, but he was the national team manager. He'd been sitting in the stand watching, and he asked me if I qualified to play for St Kitts. And I said, well, I don't know, what's the criteria? And he asked me if I was born there. I said, no, I was born in the UK, but my parents and my grandparents from the island. And so then he made me aware that because of that situation, I did qualify to play. He asked me for my number, I swapped numbers with him, and he said he'd be in touch, but I didn't really think anything of it. Just came back to England and got back into my football here at the Lamb. I remember a Thursday night training, and I got told I needed to go to the manager's office after training, so I thought, well, that's my release, that's me being released from the football club. I was fearing the worst. But actually when I went in, they'd received the fax from the St Kitts Football Association requesting my release for the World Cup qualifiers, and wow, from there it was just amazing, just an amazing experience, brilliant. I actually scored on my debut as well for St Kitts in the World Cup qualifier against Turks and Caicos. I travelled back and forth 2 and 3 times for the World Cup qualifiers, and then when we got knocked out, obviously I came back to England, continued playing for Tamworth, and I got called up again for the Copa Carib, which is like the European Championships for the Caribbean nations. Travelled to Trinidad and Antigua for the qualifiers, and then to Trinidad for the final. There was teams like Haiti and Suriname, Jamaica, Cuba. They were all taking part as well. So that was a fantastic experience as well. I ended up getting 10 full international caps. 4 of those were World Cup qualifiers, 4 was in the Copa Carib, and 2 friendlies. Brilliant times.
Yeah, absolutely. Not many footballers can boast international pedigree on their CV.
Nah, like I said, just an amazing experience. Never dreamt that something like that would happen to me. Obviously playing, at a non-league semi-professional level, you don't expect to get those kind of calls, but then, dreams do come true.
They do. Speaking of experiences, Gary, what experiences do you feel as a player help you now as a manager?
I played under some very good managers during my time playing. Obviously Paul Hendry here. Had a good manager at Worcester City, George Rooney, very, very good. And also Brendan Phillips, used to be the manager at Bedworth at one time, and then he went on to Hales Owen and Nuneaton Borough. I played under Brendan and won a second championship medal under Brendan. So I played under some good managers, and I've picked up obviously a lot of the experiences as a player from those managers, and it's kind of like just helped me to go into the management side of the things, and of actually being able to take the experiences from those managers that I played under, and also playing as well. And it's helped me here at Tamworth and at Coleshill and at Continental Star when I was there and while I was managing. So I've been able to draw on those experiences from those managers and obviously my playing career, and turned it into what I'm doing now. Yeah.
Have you always wanted to get into management? Or has it been a fairly recent thing?
To be fair, I always wanted to stay in the game in some capacity.
Yeah.
And obviously I did my UEFA licence, so I always thought, well, you know, I could definitely go on and continue to coach in the game. That was the first thought for me, to stay in the game, obviously as a coach, and give something back, whether it was in the local community or at a football club. I would bide my time until I could get myself through the door to actually do that. And then the more I did the coaching side, the more I got interested in actually managing, and combine the two while I was at Continental, like I said. Did the same at Coleshill, and then managing the 21s here at Tamworth. Another great experience coming back here. I never thought for 1 minute that I would eventually be standing in the dugout doing the first team job. When I got that call, I was, you know, gobsmacked, totally amazed. But it was obviously an opportunity that I wouldn't turn down. You know, the love that I have for this football club, I think it's clear for everybody to see. It holds a special heart in my place, so it was a fantastic opportunity. I only thought originally I'd be doing it for a game or two, but obviously things have gone so well that we've been able to be appointed up until the end of the season, which has been fantastic for me and Andy. Brilliant.
Gary, man management is such a key part of modern day football. How do you deal with all the different egos and personalities in the dressing room?
I've gone in that changing room, to be fair, and I've just presented myself as one of the lads, basically, and that has helped to get everybody on side, because I'll have the fun with them, but then there's a serious side to it as well, which the players have brought into. They've allowed me and Andy to bring our thoughts and opinions to the squad. They've bought into everything we put onto the training ground, and I think the fact that we've built the rapport up with the players as well has helped us 100%. So that has been the main thing, the major thing. We've presented ourselves as people that the players can relate to. So at the end of the day, I think, you know, there's players that you can tell off,
yeah,
and you can rant and rave at them and they can accept it. Then there's other players that you probably have to put your arm around a little bit to get the best out of them. Yeah. And that's what we've done. We've gone in there, and those that need a little bit of love, we've given it to them. But they're still aware the fact that we are serious as well at the same time.
Yeah.
And there's a serious side to them actually being players at the football club. We expect them to do their best week in, week out on the training ground and during matches. But obviously we'll still have the little bit of fun and the little bit of jolly up when the time's right. But the playing side and the training side for us has got to be serious, and the players have bought into that. I think the last few results since we've come in are proof of that. So that's what we've done, and the players have bought into it, and it's been good. It's been brilliant, and long may it continue.
Yeah, absolutely. A little bit more light-hearted now though. So do you have any superstitions or pre-match rituals?
I haven't really. I wouldn't even say I get butterflies before, you know. Usually on a Saturday, I'll get up nice and early on a Saturday morning. I'll go for a stroll. So I live close to some lakes, so I'll get up early Saturday morning and go for a walk. Get some nice fresh air in the lungs, clear the head. And that helps me with the things that I think are important that I want to get across in the changing room before the match starts, during and after as well. So that's the only one. To be honest, when the first game in charge was Bedworth, I wore a hat and we drawed the game 2-2. I've not worn the hat since.
I don't
think anybody noticed.
No.
So I've just decided I'll just wear the hat for training, but on match days I won't wear it.
Fantastic. Okay. What's been the most embarrassing moment in your football career?
Most embarrassing.
Maybe you've gone past 4 players around the goalkeeper and then speed over the bar or something.
Oh, there's quite a few of them. There's quite a few of them. I think if I'm going to be really honest, I would say I can remember being sent off here at the LAN, Birmingham Senior Cup final. That was embarrassing, and we lost as well. It was embarrassing. It was. Just a little bit.
Moving on.
Yes.
From your point of view,
yeah.
What would constitute success come the end of the season?
Considering where the football club was when me and Andy first arrived to do the first team, if we can take the team up into the top half of the football league, of the league table where we are, I think that will be fantastic. Obviously, to continue winning games as well. The more games you win, obviously the higher you'll be in the league, but then it also breeds that winning mentality, which is something that the players need to buy into if they want to be successful. So the higher up the league we finish, for me, will be success. I'll treat that as success. And the fact that the club were in danger, obviously, of dropping into the relegation zone, the fact that we've steadied the ship and we've climbed away from that zone now, and obviously we're looking up above into the top 10 is brilliant, and for me that will be fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gary, as you know, this club is all about the rapport between the fans and the players. What do you plan to do, and you know he's going into next season as well, to help that relationship flourish and bring back the times that you remember so clearly and vividly, where it was all about that connection, and we seem to have lost in recent seasons?
Yeah, we made a point of making sure that the players now, after games, they've got to stay at the football club for at least an hour. They've got to go and mingle with the supporters, win, lose or draw, mingle with sponsors and any other dignitaries that are available, because I believe that they have a responsibility as representatives of the football club to go and face the fans, the media and whoever else wants to ask them a question. So that's something that we've brought in, which is working. I think it's important that the players actually connect with the fans as well, because like I said, win, lose or draw, the supporters are here week in, week out. So I think it's only fair that the players that the fans adore are actually available for meet and greet, and you know, to talk to them. Long may that continue. We'll keep that going, and obviously the more games you win, the more the supporters buy into the players as well. So that's important as well. So I think that's what brings the crowd in, that's what keeps them happy, and then obviously we can unite as one.
Fantastic. Gary, thank you so much for your time. It's been really insightful actually, getting to know you as an individual a little bit better, and I'm sure people watching this will feel the same.
Brilliant.
So until the next time, thank you very much.
You're welcome.